The film itself is very much coming of age drama between two young lads, myself who plays Carty and Liam who plays Elvis. And it's very much them at a crossroads in their life and trying to find themselves in a world where they don't really fit. Carty himself is a middle class lad who's just lost his mum, and he works for the Inland Revenue, and he's kind of trapped in that whole kind of humdrum, button down life, and he can't stand it. And he goes to a football game where he sees Elvis and a gang of lads called the Pack who are into like football hooliganism, and he wants to be part of that kind of exciting scene because that's how he sees it. He sees a bit of excitement in his life, and by chance he meets Elvis in a nightclub when he's at a gig, and they strike up a kind of very quick, in-depth friendship. And through Elvis he gets into the Pack, and then it's kind of him trying to establish whether he fits there or if he doesn't fit there and where he wants to be, and who really his loyalties lie with. Did he lie with Elvis? Did he lie with his sister and his family, or did he lie elsewhere with the Pack? And that's basically, in a nutshell, what my character in the film's about.
No, it's a really exciting film to kind of have premiered this evening, and the characters really draw out, you know, what it is to kind of be a young guy growing up and finding your identity. I mean, Liam, working on the film, was it your character something you could relate to in your life, your experiences at all?
Well, with regards to doing heroin and going around with switchblades and stuff like that, that isn't what I do. But I watch a lot of stuff. I read a lot of books, and obviously the script was written for me, so I kind of just adapted what I thought was right for the character. And everything was brilliant in regards to my clothing. I looked the part. Obviously, I'm not saying I look the part, but Elvis did look the part, and that kind of just helped with the swagger of being Elvis, and it was a great part to play. But it was just a very interesting character, and we rose to it, both of us. We both really got stuck into our characters, and we was living a bit of a life outside of work, probably being the characters for a while. So that was quite interesting.
And you said that the script was written for you, so...
No, it wasn't written for me. It was written down, so the words are there. And so then all I've got to do is say them.
That's what an actor does, strangely enough. Brilliant.
Well done.
You did your job well. Excellent.
So I'm not saying I kind of, but obviously, you know, both of us kind of give a lot of what we're about in the acting sense to the film as well, and that individual thing going through really showed, and it was quite a good thing to work on, quite exciting.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Calm's associated with Liverpool Sound City, and the connections with Calm and the subjects that, you know, you guys kind of really delved in with your characters on the film, it's so close. Do you think that growing up now in 2009 and being a young man is as hard as it was as you portrayed in the film, which is based kind of in the late 70s, early 80s?
Well, I think that was a hard time, to be fair. I think that moment where the film is focusing upon, it was a hard time when Thatcher was in power. There was segregation in regards to the rich and the poor. There was the massive gap in between, and the film is focusing on that. So, but these days, I think there's more opportunities for people. The government is really helping in regards to funding people to go to school, go to colleges and stuff. So there's a lot going on. So I would prefer to, if I had a choice, whether to be born in the 70s or born in 2009, I'd definitely choose 2009, just because I think there's more out there to do.
Now, of course, we are in the festival. You've got your premiere this evening. Are you nervous? How do you deal with your nerves for today? I mean, are you know, hopefully I'm not making you too stressed, but I mean, how are you feeling about this evening? You're scared. How do you cope with your nerves?
The first, isn't it?
Yeah, it's channeling things the right way, I guess, and like just saying, look, you're enjoy it while it lasts, because it could all go tomorrow. You could lose everything tomorrow, so you might as well just enjoy it while it lasts.
Good way of thinking. That. Good way of thinking.
Drink will help.
Probably.
Drink will help. I won't lie.
I wouldn't recommend to people to do too much drinking, but for one.
Yeah, we'll have to look at the reviews tomorrow. They'll be like, wow, yeah, the boys definitely enjoyed their success.
Yeah.
Cheers.
How about your acting careers? Because obviously, you know, it's not the most easiest of careers to kind of choose. I mean, how do you find it? How's your journey been actually so far? You're saying this is the first for you guys having a world
I think
premiere.
the journey starts here, to be fair. From tonight, from tomorrow, from I think anything that we've ever done in the past, would you agree that that's out the window now? This film is a thing that's going to either take us forward or, like you said, you know,
End our careers.
End our careers. but I'm sure it won't. I'm sure I've had a nice journey, but this is a thing that I can show what I can do, just like Nick can really show what we both can show what we can do. So now it's an open advert now to show the world that we can do it, and we are there.
Exactly.
I mean, you're only as good as your last job, aren't you? So, I mean, anything that you do before this, you just forget about, because it's done, you can't change it. So, you have to wait for this, and then the next project comes along will mean that we'll probably forget about Awaydays, and we'll be focused on that, and so on and so forth.
I'm sure we'll never forget about Awaydays. It's too much of a big thing in our lives. It was a big thing, and it's just the whole thing. Obviously, it's my first lead role in film, his first lead role in film. So we're just kind of really riding on the wave, and just enjoying it. And I don't think we will forget this for quite a long time.
No.
To be fair, I mean,
is it
probably won't be great.
Is it exciting playing those characters? Because as you said, when I said earlier about, identifying with being a young man, I didn't quite mean about, the being a thug and the drug taking. Obviously, playing such an extreme character. I mean, that must have been really good fun.
Yeah, it's good fun, but it's also hard work. But I kind of put work with fun. So you're right. Yeah, it was good fun. But there's a lot of things that can go wrong if you're having too much fun. There was not many outtakes where we're laughing our heads off. It was really serious. It meant a lot to us both, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It was a massive thing to undertake, and we were well ready for it. And we just grasped it, with both hands and said, right, sod it, let's run with it and give it the best that we can, and that's what we've done.
I mean, we had a brilliant director as well, Pat Holden. He was superb, a very sensitive man who knew a story, and he helped us, guided us through what we was doing as well. And obviously the producer, Dave Hughes, was brilliant, kind of encouraging us, and the writer. You can't go wrong. Yeah.
There's going to be guys watching, this interview right now that, they're in kind of the situations that you're portraying in the film. Situations that your characters went through, bereavement, the drugs, even getting involved in violent crime. I mean, experiencing that as your characters and within your acting work, have you got anything to kind of, say to those guys that are actually kind of acting like Carter? Something like that?
Well, I think the film does say, it tells a story of when you get into these things, it's not a good thing to do because of all what happens, and it's so attractive to do all these things, yet that attractiveness is completely gone when he says in the film near the end, when you're dazzled, you're blinded to see what's really happening to you. And I would say if there's young people out there who are getting into them kind of things, maybe watch the film and just see Paul Carty go through probably the same things they're going through, and you can kind of experience it through that, and it makes you realise that you don't want to be messing with things like that. Don't do it, because you're not going to be. You're going to be on the floor as opposed to flying high. You're going to be a place where you don't want to be. And I'm sure people with problems. There's a lot of help out there, like I said as well, isn't there?
There's too much to live for. There's too many opportunities out there that people should be, trying to take advantage of, if you like. And these lads need to realise that today's, the beginning of the rest of your life, and you've really, really got to look at it that way and say, look at, what am I doing? Where am I going to be in 10 years' time? Where am I going to be in 20 years' time? And really find out a lot of them will look at it and say, well, I'm probably going to be down a cemetery somewhere, because that's where you're going to end up. Getting into this kind of thing, getting into drugs, getting into violence, it never ever leads to a happy place, and it never will. No. And they need to get out of it now while they can. Get help, take advantage of the opportunities that are there for you, and really, really shake yourself up. And I think that's the best advice to give.
It can be hard work though, as well.
It is.
And you just got to kind of, if you've got family there as well who can help you and support you, then really embrace that. But I would say it would be really hard, but if you keep trying and stuff, and you keep pushing for that happiness, then you'll get it.
Yeah, guys, it's been so great to speak to you, and you guys are going to be flying high, because this is going to be the start of a massive journey for you. Do please stay in touch. Do let us know exactly what's going on, and I'll see you at the premiere.
Okay,
Take care, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you. Good luck with it. Oh, brilliant.